This is Mastering Mathematics with your teacher, Karen Weston.
Good evening. We're right back again because we're not going to let up. We are going to be mathematics giants in this country. The last time we introduced you to algebra, foundation, what it was all about, how you can still relate it to what you know in terms of arithmetic. Today, we're going to still continue so that we can show you some of the aspects in which it is done, okay? So we're going to give you enough practice. I want to hear from you. So I'm going to be putting expressions on the board and you're going to be telling me yes, because you have an invisible communication line and only I can hear, and I will tell the general public what you told me to say. So here we go again, and today we're going to be looking at some of the algebraic solution and problems and what they've asked us to do in terms of dealing with this subject. The first thing we do, we're asked to simplify. So what do? They want to test to see that we know the different aspects, to see that we can understand which grouping goes together, and that we are not confused because we are getting different types of letters or letters that look alike, and we don't understand that one represents a Suzuki, one represents a truck, and one represents a bicycle, and we are not good experts at constructing a single vehicle. So we have to leave them as they are, or to group the things that are alike on each other, and then to apply our arithmetical operation. Let us take it very simple at first. So for our first question, we can be asked to simplify. And that would mean that they have given us terms that are at the same type, but they have spread them out, where in terms of your grades 1 and 2, you'll be thinking in terms of expansion, okay? But now in terms of algebra, when they have given us that, they're asking us to condense them to a single expression. So for example, we can start with 7x plus 4x. How do we know that they are alike? It is this variable that tells us that they are of the same character, they are of the same type. So if x represented oranges, we had 7 oranges in one basket and 4 in the other. So how many did we have altogether? Because this symbol says to add. All right? So we're finding what is the word that we use again? What did you tell me? Yes, it is the sum. So we're finding the sum of this expression when they tell us to simplify. So the answer here would just be equal to 11x. You cannot just write 11. It's 11 of something, okay? So that would be 11x. What would we do if they gave us again to simplify negative 2x, negative 4x? How do we simplify something like that? And we remember that with our number line, we have two families. We have positive integers and we have negative integers. All right? So what we have at this time, although they're also representing apples, we have them from the negative branch. And we're saying there are 2 of them sitting here, 4 of them sitting over here. How many do we have in all? We would have 2 and 4, and they are negative people. So we would have 2 and 4 to give us 6, and it is x. And that is the answer. This is where we lose some of our students because they are confusing this negative 2x, negative 4x with negative 2x multiplied by negative 4x. The difference here is this multiplication, which takes us into another realm where we would be saying a negative times a negative would give us a positive. It does not happen when we have something like this and where no multiplication is involved. You have to see the multiplication sign for you to say that this is that, is not this. All right? So we don't confuse these two things. Negative 2x and negative 4x means that we are adding. For negative 2x multiplied by negative 4x, we have to institute the rule that says a negative times a negative gives us a positive. That rule is used only when we are in the realms of our division and our multiplication. The rule stays as it is in terms of arithmetic, where we are asking how many do we have of each, or which is the biggest number. Okay? So please do not confuse this with this. And that is where we lose some of our students. So make certain you look at it, make certain you understand when you're saying negative 2x and negative 4x, how many do we have? And it is an additional sum, okay? Here, if it has multiplied by, we must get into the rule where we're saying a negative times a negative would give us a positive, and then we would be getting 8x squared, okay? Because all that comes into the branch with multiplication. So that is different. So we have to make that distinction. Now, let us look at something else. Suppose we went into a realm where we had this to deal with, and I want you to pay special attention to this. The sum this time is, and let me hold the book so that I can see and I don't make any mistakes at all, because I want you to learn it right the first time. So it would have been 3a squared, 3a squared b, and it is plus 2ab cubed, okay, and then it is plus 4a squared b squared, all right, and then it is minus 5a b cubed and plus 11b to the fourth plus 6a squared b. I specifically chose that one so that I can show you some of the points I am making when I say that we'd be grouping things, and the things that are alike, they stay together. Okay? Look at what we have. So we have, because we're still simplifying, we have 3a squared b. Look at this, okay? 3a squared b. And then we're asked to add plus 2, and it is ab cube. ab cube. Okay, I want you to keep your eyes here. No, there is no addition that will take place between those two, because a squared b and ab cube, they are not the same family. They are not the same family. This will be as if you're calling Weston and you're calling Charles, okay? So you can't put them together and get a one person here. And I'm not talking about genetics, all right? So if we have the single units like this, you look and you see this is a squared b, which says this is a Suzuki, and you have ab cube, which says that's a Toyota. All right, they are different. So we continue down the line, and it is still saying plus, and we have 4a squared b squared. And again, this is different. They are not the same. Okay? They're saying we have 4 types of that Japanese car, and we cannot add them to get a single vehicle from any one of these things that we have so far. And then we meet minus 5ab cubed. And we say, wait a minute, didn't I hear about ab cubed already? And we say, yes, look at it right here. So these are the same family, despite one being negative, okay? So that is what I talk about when I say, then we group the things that are alike. So this would be coming under this category. So it's minus 5ab cubed. So we look again and we see, yes, they are the same. So in terms of the algebra, we have to look and see what the letters are saying, because it is the letters at the back of the number which distinguishes and categorizes each item or term that we are asked to simplify. And only the things that are exactly alike in terms of letters are grouped together. Okay? And then after that, we would have been meeting plus 11b to the 4th. There is no such category already, so we write it separately. So it's plus 11b to the 4th. And then after that, we have plus 6a squared b. Do we have that category anywhere on the board already? And we look and we say, yes, that is the one we started with. So we put it in its place, which is 6a squared b, so that these are the same. And that is what we have to do. And then we can start simplifying. So we would be drawing our line, okay, and we'd be looking and saying how many we have of which ones. So the first thing we have to do in terms of the simplification, look and see what the letters are saying, because that is what gives the term its identity. All right? So in algebra, we have to distinguish and identify those terms that are exactly alike. So now we can do our addition, because these are positive numbers. So then we'd be going and saying 3 and 6 would give me 9. And the name of that family is a squared b. That is all, a squared b. So look at what you're really doing. You're just adding and subtracting numbers and then putting on their tails to it in terms of the letter to say, okay, this represents Weston, this represents Benjamin, this represents Turner's, this represents Henry's, okay? And that is what we are doing here. Now we come over and we look and we see that this is plus 2 and negative 5, and we're saying which number is bigger and by how many. And again, we look and we see negative 5, and then so we see that this then would be negative 3, and the name of that family is AB cubed. So we put it back. So all the letters are doing is telling you the name of that specific term. Nothing to be done here. In terms of simplifying, grouping the letters that are identical, putting them together, taking away our negatives. How many negatives do we have? How many positives? And by how many? And giving us our number. There is no number to go with this. There's no other member to go with this. So we write it back. Plus 4a squared b squared. It stands alone. Same thing too with plus 11b to the 4th. And that then is the end of the simplification. So what do we do when we have long numbers? We simplify them, we group them. How do we do our grouping or categorization? We look at the letters. Don't say A and AB squared is the same thing as A squared, B squared. They are not. The lettering must be identical.